You can't even help people. What if you're a first responder and you do? Are you going to get in trouble for that too? Doing your job? Hey guys, how's it going today? It's your boy ZNF1 here, back at it again with another video. Today I want to talk with you guys about protesting rights and how they've slowly been kind of stripped and regulated ever since like 2016, and arguably even earlier than that. I'd say more majorly than it has been for a while, since the start of like that year. With that being said, before we get into it, let's, cue intro. Now, anti-protest laws started fluctuating in 2016 and 2017 to a higher level in response to the Standing Rock protests movement, which was protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline being built. For those of you who don't know what the Standing Rock protests is, it was when thousands of Native Americans and environmental activists were protesting the construction of the Dakota Access Pipeline being built through Native American land for months. Trump administration also continued this, by the way, when Obama denied the construction crew a key to be able to continue constructing that pipeline. Worldwide coverage of the protests led federal and state legislators to pass laws which would limit the rights of protesters and the rights to assemble, in addition to penalizing them even further than they already were. This wasn't in absolutely every state that was pushing for anti-protest legislation or more anti-protest legislation, by the way. This was in a few cases like that of Tennessee and Ohio. Really messed up. That's really kind of fucked up, isn't it? The fact of the matter that people are doing peaceful protests, and as soon as it gets worldwide coverage, that miraculously now a shit ton of fucking state and federal officials are trying to, limit the rights of protesters and penalize them even further. Like, how fucked up is that, man? According to thebestlawyers.com, by 2017, the number of anti-protest legislation had doubled, and almost 60 bills had been introduced at state level. At first, most were struck down for being blatantly unconstitutional. Now, why would they even try to, do all this stuff? Oh wait, is it maybe because it would affect, the natural gas and oil industry and people that make a shit ton of fucking money from those companies and industry? I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the Rockefellers? Now, all those bills were an attempt to protect business assets and interests of corrupt politicians and industry people. It's not hard to grasp that concept, because of the fact of the matter is, if you know anything about how greed and corruption works, especially in the modern day century, it's really basic for that to be a thing. Like, oh yes, these people are making massive protests and it's getting worldwide coverage. We probably should, stomp that out a little bit. Make it to where it doesn't seem, too shitty. Otherwise, people might want to overthrow us. This changed in 2018, however, when the American Legislative Exchange Council, or ALEC, formalized the Critical Infrastructure Protection Act, a policy model which criminally penalized or fined anyone who was trespassing on a critical infrastructure. What could this be for exactly? Maybe to suppress the, First Amendment rights of anybody who tries to stop the gas and oil industry from doing whatever the fuck they want and taking people's land and destroying habitats. This also provided guidelines and potential financial liability for any organizations who happen to conspire to help said protesters. Again, this is to protect the gas and oil industry. This really, really messed up that this is a thing, right? Peaceful protesters getting all these legal, like, charges and everything. It's not uncommon, though, at the same time, because of the fact of the matter, if you look at history, people like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, etc., like, even Gandhi, they were all penalized to some degree. Like, Martin Luther King Jr. even went to jail simply for protesting and doing the right thing. This is often how it goes in history. People that, try to do the right thing end up going to prison for it half the time, or getting in some form of legal troubles. Just think about how fucked up that is for a second. The Critical Infrastructure Protection Act redefines trespassing/terrorism and punishes groups simply because of an individual's actions. This would mean that they're generally doing it because of guilt by association. How immature and fucked up is that? On April 12th, 2021, Senate Bill of Ohio number 33 was passed after many years of uphill battle. Now, this gives higher penalties and further criminalizes protesting too. This criminalized gestures or activities like giving rides, water, and medical first aid to anti-pipeline protesters. How shitty is that? Seriously. You can't even help people. What if you're a first responder and you do? Are you going to get in trouble for that too? Doing your job? Due to how generic the bill initially was, things like even chanting, "Stop the pipeline," would be seen as encouraging damage to critical infrastructure. In addition to how vague and generic the bill language its fucking self is, you also will be seeing higher penalties for trespassing and property damage, in addition to all the stuff we mentioned before this. So even if you're to sit there and say, "Stop the pipeline." What was that? Did you say stop the pipeline? Did you say it at an excessively loud volume, or even just in a whisper, "Stop the pipeline"? Oh, that's it. You're going to jail. Shit, man. It's ridiculous. You just say something and you're getting penalized by the government. You could go jail. You can't say that. Why? Because you can't say that because of this act, which clearly violates First Amendment rights, but it's the law, so you can't do that. It's funny because stuff like this is happening in Europe, too. Specifically in Germany, France, etc., and the UK. Russell Brandt did an excellent video earlier this week on this stuff, or that is one of his last week videos. Nonetheless, he did a fantastic fucking job describing how shitty and fucked up it is. You can't have a bullhorn, fog machines, nothing to grab people's attention and bring awareness and alert to the message that you're trying to send, which is, I don't know, kind of the point of protesting, isn't it? Anything that robs enjoyment on the critical infrastructure or the property. Think about how fucked up that is for a second. Yes, protesters are supposed to be, for people's enjoyment all the time. It's not like they're to address important social issues or illegal activities that are going on or anything. Did I mention the fact that the Critical Infrastructure Act is to protect the natural gas and oil industry, or the Rockefellers? In August of 2020, the Washington Post's Amy and Kobe wrote, "Tennessee protesters could now lose their right to vote under a new law Government Bill Lee signed with little fanfare Thursday. Protesters who camp out on state property, such as activists who have demonstrated for months outside the state capitol against racial injustice, can now face felony charges punishable by up to 6 years in prison. Convicted felons are automatically stripped of their voting rights in Tennessee. Oh, so you protested against injustice, and we don't like that. So, you know, here, you get to go to jail for 6 years, and you don't even get to vote anymore because, you know, fuck you. It's not at all, like, completely unjust to sit there and punish you for your First Amendment rights or anything. Not at all, man. Just how fucked up is that, you guys? Like, seriously, just because you exercise your First Amendment rights means that you now are charged with a felony, potentially. It could even face up to 6 years in prison, in addition to losing your right to vote if you get charged as a felony, simply for contesting injustice and racial issues that shouldn't be a thing anymore, or any issues in general. Like, I also find it kind of ironic how this stuff all happened during the midst of the whole economic shutdown and pandemic, you feel me? Like, it's really fucked up the fact that it happened during all of that stuff, and people that are now, like, speaking up against narrative are silenced on social media and a whole bunch of everything, and censorship, shadow banning, everything else. It's a little too coincidental that all that stuff's been happening. Now, all this really shouldn't be happening because these are our First Amendment rights. We have every damn right as an American and as people in general, in a democracy, not even necessarily in a democracy, just as people, we have every right in our fucking nature and our being to stand up and protest the shit out of any sort of criminal injustice that's going on and is limiting the rights of people and damaging the environment and taking away people's homes. Anything that is unjust to the people. If a massive amount of people are protesting that and they're getting reprimanded because of that, that really should show you how fucked up things are getting and what all's going on. Like, it's all to protect business interests, and anybody who speaks out against that is silenced or cut out of the equation. Where have we seen that before? I don't know. Now, that's happened with, especially recently in the past year or two, with anything related to COVID and its origins, or the experimental vaccines that are there, which I did a couple of videos on that, which I'll leave a link to here at the end of the video. But you can't sit there and do this to people. You can't silence people and ostracize them, cancel them, and censor the shit out of them when they're not doing anything wrong. If they're being peaceful and not causing harm, then there's no problem. This is what leads to riots and violent protests. People don't understand. That's the thing. When you do things like this is what leads to people rising the fuck up and revolting and rioting. This is what pisses people off when this shit continuously happens for a long time. Now, that's enough about what I think. What do you think, the audience, my viewers, my beloved tribe? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and tell me what you guys think about all these issues and what exactly is wrong with it or not. If you made it to the end of this video, go ahead and type Rebel down in the comments below. Let me know that you guys are part of the 100% Club. As usual, my dudes, please don't forget to, like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really does help me out when you guys do this. It gets me further up in that YouTube algorithm, and it helps to show me what you guys are enjoying that I'm putting out here for you. As usual, my dudes, until next time, please don't forget to, live long and prosper, take care and peace, and keep it 1,000,000% real. I will see you guys on the flip side.